Hello and welcome to Affinity. This is the Absolute Beginners course, and we're looking at one small step at a time for getting to know and use Affinity Photo for editing mostly photographs. And we've been looking at these up here as the automatic things. You can click those and see what happens, but now we're taking control and deciding how we're going to do it. And now we're looking at this time auto white balance, and we're going to do white balance manually. So what we do is we go over here to the adjustments tab, and just down here we've got white balance. If you click on that, this opens up here and you get a window down here to give you controls. This says here warm and cool, and that's because the top one here is about warm and cool. And watch what happens to this one as we click the warm one. See, it goes at one side, the right, and click on the other one, it goes to the left. And click on default, goes back to the beginning. And what this means is if I go left, it gets bluer, and that kind of feels cool, which is because it's kind of wintry colour. Whereas with the sun in the summer, you go towards the yellow and it gets what's called warmer. And what you can do with this is, if the picture has naturally gone one way or the other, even if it's taken in different lights, also if you've got different, like an indoor picture, the light bulbs and even the reflective surfaces around can change the colour of the picture that comes out. And this can help you fix it. Down here, the next one, tint, you can also use the top one more often, but the bottom one you can use as well to go from green and magenta, and both these like opposites on colour wheel that we looked at. And this little thing down here called the picker is really useful, because you click on that and now your cursor turns into a little crosshairs, and you can click on something that is white, black or grey, and it will try to make that even more black, white or grey. So I click on here, and look at what's happened here is the white balance has moved a little bit. And it's in order to make this here a even more grey, which means it's bringing the red, green and blue all together. So red, green and blue all have the same value. So like in the colour up here, if I bring those two together, then the colour here would be one of those. So I'm going to zoom into that up here like this. And if I click on here, I can click around several places and it'll mostly be the same. But if this one up here, that looks a bit grey, if I click on that, that's doing it the same. So this is not moving. If you go to other places and click on them, then it moves a little bit there. It moves to a different place. So this looks like a good value. So I hit Control-0 to zoom out again. And that would be the natural best adjustment here. Don't need to change the tint, but you can if you want to. I can, for example, turn this up here to make this a bit warmer, and I make it a bit more like a summer's day, and maybe add a little bit of magenta, because that's a kind of warm colour as well. So I move this up here. If you go too far, it looks a bit strange, but it can help as well. One thing by the way, we definitely are likely to use magenta is people's faces, because when people's faces are even a tiny bit green, they just look sick. So a tint here, think of doing that when you've got people in it. Just check to see whether it's okay. Right. Anyway, that's it. So you can do it automatically with the picker, and you can play with these to see whether you just like the look of the picture and deliberately make it warmer or cooler. And that's what white balance is. Normally you do that quite early when editing a picture. So often one of the first things, and you don't have to touch it at all if the picture is okay, but you may want to. Anyway, that's it. So thank you very much for watching.